Hello, my friends. In this video, I will quickly go over my tier list, and we're starting with Z tier. So Z tier is basically the champions that are kind of pick and ban right now, or basically played in every game, or you can play in every game, and you will always have some sort of agency. Then we have S blind picks, so basically the best blind picks on the patch, then really good counter picks, A tier, B tier, and C tier. Z tier, Rumble and Cyan. Rumble is basically played every single game in pro play, super oppressive, insane ultimate, has always insane value in every single game, super strong laning phase. There are no downsides of playing this champion, but he's not the easiest champion, so if you want to learn him, you really gotta invest some time. And Cyan, absolute no-brainer, has almost like no bad matchups aside from like Gwen or something, but still Cyan will always find his place, super good scaling as well, will always be the best frontline basically in the game, and that's why they are Z tier. Also, both of these champs have really high prio in competitive play right now, which I'm also focusing on. As blind pick, Cassandra, Ambessa, Aatrox, Renekton, Ryze, Corki. Let's start with Cassandra. Cassandra is a super solid blind. A lot of people are playing Rexa into it or like some other counter picks, but even if you're getting Cassandra into Cyan or Rumble, for example, you will still like always be in a good position. Same thing kind of for Ambessa. With Aatrox, there are for sure like some bad matchups, but even Renekton, super solid blind pick, nothing you can do wrong. If I would like advise you to learn specific champs on top lane, then I think these like Rumble, Cyan, Cassandra, Ambessa, Aatrox, Renekton are the champs to go. And then in my opinion, Ryze is a completely broken right now, especially on mid lane. You can just insta shove basically every wave, and in my opinion, he's also super good on top lane. Same thing for Corki. You can flex Corki on top lane, you can flex Corki in mid lane and on AD, and he has a really oppressive lane. And especially with the new changes, because Ryze can like go Ghost, right? Corki can just go Barrier like any combat summoner spell, and that's why I think they're an S tier. As always in top lane, of course, top lane is a huge, or like top lane has a huge value of counter picking the enemy champion. This is why so many champions are as counters, and we're gonna go through them. So Ken, for example, is great into stuff like Jax or like any champs that are kind of short range that you can just completely abuse as Ken. And then you have like a few champions like Jax, for example. He's really good against auto attackers. Malphite has some insane matchups against specific champions, like if people blind Gnar or Jace or something. Gwen, absolute tank shredder. So for example, let's say enemies already have like a few meaty champions and you are not that good into teamfights with your comp, then like Gwen is your champion to go. Riven more of a solo queue champion, but in my opinion, if you master this champion, it's like still in competitive play and in solo queue really broken. Shen, honestly, like not a lot of people will agree on this, but I think Shen as a counter pick as well has like super insane value. You have ultimate where you can impact the map all the time. Kinda same thing as Mundo. I mean, he cannot impact the map, but there are specific games with Mundo where you will be so tanky and completely unkillable that the champ will be like absolute godlike. Vayne, Varus, like this category is like AD carries top lane, which is like really good into like any frontline melee champions that you can basically abuse. It's due to the TP change, so you can use like a combat summoner, for example, as Vayne. You can now go Vayne with like Flash Exhaust, for example, or like play Varus with Ghost or whatever. Like it's same thing for Olaf, for example. I think if enemies, and let's say enemies go Seraphine and like Karma or stuff like this, like champions that you can run down, or like a Syndra, so simply control mages that have like no counterplay against Olaf, or like a Jhin or something, then like he has insane value, and he also has some good top lane matchups. Kayle is a champion where you can just free scale. For example, Kayle is pretty decent into Cassandra if you can get that matchup somehow. Not that played in competitive, but there are like a few OTPs as well in Challenger that completely abuse Kayle, and she's super strong. Same thing for Cassio, really good into any sort of melee champions, melee comps, basically. Rexa is a really insane counter pick into Cassandra right now. Galio is a really good counter pick into Rumble, and Mordekaiser is overall a good counter pick into any sort of engage or like frontline champions where you can just split push and basically destroy in lane. And then everything we have in A, B, and C tier is kind of playable. But if like I would advise you, like the champions in A tier, for example, like Gnar can be a good champion. Ornn is still like a solid tank, right? Like Irelia is a good solo queue champion, but you need to be really good on them. Same thing for Fiora. Like for example, let's say you're a really good Fiora player and the enemies, I don't know, give you a free matchup with Camille or something, then yes, the champion can be really good. Like same thing for Akshan, but you need to play that champs really good and then also have good angles for them. B tier are more of the champions that I wouldn't suggest to play if you can also like play any other champ basically, and C tier champions are just like really game specific and more solo queue focused, honestly. Like there are a few OTPs as well, I know. But yeah, these are my overall thoughts on top lane. I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to check out my coaching Discord where we are always discussing about specific champions. And then I'm wishing you a nice day. Goodbye.